the way you make me feel these days. Some getting dropped for your baby girl. Smoke a nigga top for your baby girl. Burn somebody block for you the way you make.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kay. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on those post notifications so you can keep up with me. If you're returning, what's good, what's poppin'? So in today's video, I'll be talking to y'all a little bit about the HBCU Legacy Bowl career fair that I attended in New Orleans last week. I made a vlog a little bit about my New Orleans trip overall, so if y'all haven't watched it, stop this video and hop over to that one. I said in that video that I would be making a more in-depth video about like the HBCU Legacy Bowl career fair itself, since I just made like a short vlog. If you go to a HBCU and you guys are looking for ways to get jobs, internships, keep watching this video and I'll give you a little insight about my experience. So, first thing, what is the HBCU Legacy Bowl career fair? And so before we get into what is the HBCU Legacy Bowl career fair, what is the HBCU Legacy Bowl? And so the Legacy Bowl is basically an opportunity for football players who attend HBCUs to go and showcase their talents. And these players are like, you know, some of the top players in HBCUs, and they're also like NFL draft eligible. And so what's really dope about not only just like the Legacy Bowl career fair, but like the Legacy Bowl itself, is that it gives an opportunity for HBCU students. A lot of people like look down on HBCUs, think we're not as adequate. And of course now, like, I feel like HBCUs are getting more recognition. So this experience, these 2 days, the career fair, the Legacy Bowl, these are opportunities that are intended towards HBCU students to get us out there, to get people to recognize HBCU graduates, HBCU students. And honestly, it just helps us get exposure to like so many top employers that we honestly might not get if you don't attend or if you haven't attended this. It's just a perfect way to really get other individuals to see that HBCU students are also adequate. We also are deserving. We also have the same skills that a lot of other people who go to these PWIs have. I don't know too much about the internship that's within the HBCU Legacy Bowl, but I know there is an internship opportunity. So if you're wanting to get into sport and you go to HBCU, I would definitely check that out for like the next year. What's really dope about the career fair is that it's tended towards HBCU students. And so there's a lot of top employers that come and try to recruit. And not only did they have job opportunities and summer opportunities that they were showcasing, but they also had workshops and keynote speakers who were speaking and kind of giving us insight on how do we get our foot in the door, how do we push forward in this industry, and how do we showcase and advocate for ourselves so that we can get into these jobs that we want to get into. And honestly, when I signed up for it, I was like, okay, this is going to be straight sports related, but it wasn't, y'all. There was people that I never would have thought would have been there, and like there were so many opportunities there that opened my eyes to see like I can do way more than what I'm trying to do. And like I said, there was a lot of different sports teams that were there. They had the NFL, a lot of NFL teams, such as like the 49ers, they had the Saints, they had the Vikings, they had the Seahawks, they had the Lions, they had the Cardinals, they had the Commanders, they had the Bears, the Eagles there, they had the Jaguars there. They also had like Foot Locker and Adidas. Y'all, they even had the FBI. Like literally, I got pulled into the FBI booth and I was like, why am I standing right here? Different school districts there. They had like Blue Cross, I remember like Carnival. And y'all, the list really goes on. Like, I kid you not, there was so many booths there, I couldn't even get around to all of them. Me, how I got involved, one of my friends, shout out to David, he posted on his LinkedIn. I was like, what is this? Mind you, I already graduated, but they also allow HBCU grads to go. So if y'all are a recent grad and y'all want to get into sport, and low-key if y'all don't want to get into sport, there's a lot of opportunity there. But there was a lot of post-grad opportunities too. And even though like I'm in my master's right now, I talked to a lot of people who are willing to, you know, talk to me again once I graduate. Basically just go on the website, fill out your information, and I haven't heard about anybody getting denied. I don't know why you would get denied. You'll get an exception letter and you get the information and then you go. The opportunity is completely free. I know like a lot of HBCUs actually helped their students go, and so I don't know if it's based off of certain departments or not, but if you're interested in going, I would talk to somebody at your HBCU to see if there's any funding for it, because I know some HBCUs were actually funding students to go. Like I said, the event totally was free, but if you have to like fly in or drive in, or if you have to like get a hotel, then getting funded would be super beneficial. For next year, look out around, I think I maybe signed up like last month. Honestly, it was in February, so I think I signed up maybe like early February or like late January. So keep an eye out around that time next year. I talked to all the teams I seen because I know I want to work into sport. Now, for those who might not want to work in sport, there was also, like I said, so many different opportunities outside of that. And so what are some of the things that I learned at the HBCU fair? Very first thing, anytime you go to a career fair, bring your resume on hand, period. Like, digital ones are great and all. Me having my physical resume, I feel like made me stand out even more, especially because once I gave it to them, they wrote notes on there to kind of help them remind themselves who I am, because of course they talk to hundreds of people every day. Them having something in their hand that they can take with them is really helpful. And so if you ever go to a career fair, number one, bring resumes, and it just makes you look even more prepared, y'all. Like, I was walking around with my little folder and I looked so prepared, and they would ask like, do you have a resume? Absolutely, here you go. And so bring a resume, period. I also learned how important LinkedIn was. Don't get me wrong, I've actually always used LinkedIn. I really got super into it like this past year. But being at this career fair really showed me how important LinkedIn was. A lot of people aren't tapped in with LinkedIn, and I really don't see why, because you can find anything and everything on LinkedIn. I literally would go and just be DMing people like, hey, this is what I want to do. Do you have 15 minutes to talk? And they'd be like, yeah, and that jumpstarts you into so many different things. Like, I've seen it firsthand. I have so many connections now based off of LinkedIn because I went and just DM'd them. Something simple. If you can go DM somebody on Instagram and Twitter, you can go DM somebody on LinkedIn. Once you get on LinkedIn and find these people and connect, go and send a message. Like, be brief, give a little elevator speech, but in a message. Ask for like 15 minutes of their time and just ask questions that you have. Try to see how their journey was. Try to see what made you do what you're doing now. How did you get there? What are some challenges in that field? Get some insight, y'all. Like, you won't know anything if you don't ask. And these people that are on LinkedIn, that are in these positions, they want to help you. Like, some people aren't going to answer, and that is fine. But there's a lot of people who are going to answer. So hop on LinkedIn, connect with people, follow people, and start DMing, y'all. Like, out of like the 10 that you DM, 2 or 3 might answer, and that might be all you need. Be okay with other opportunities outside of what you're set on. Y'all, it is so important to be open to other opportunities that are outside of what you have your mind on, with the field that you are so used to. For me, I'm interested in the field that's underdeveloped. Me walking into a career fair is very nerve-wracking because I already know half the time they never have jobs for sports psychologist interns. They don't have jobs for mental performance consulting interns. Like, it's just not there. And a lot of the time they're newly developing, so they don't want to bring in interns. So when I went into this opportunity, I already went in with the mindset like, I'm probably not going to find what I need or what I really want to find. But of course, like, anytime I see sport, I'm like, let me go for it, because I'm so versatile in the sports field. And something that really got me to realize, like, you have to be open to seeing different things that will teach you transferable skills for your field. Y'all, like, the first day, y'all, I was going around telling people like, I want to go into sports psychology, I want to go into mental performance consulting, and the first thing they said is, well, we don't really have that. We're not with football operations. It's so hard. Like, don't get me wrong, shout out to the ones that are in business operations. I'm here for it, but it's so hard to get into football operations, sports psychology, mental performance. Like, it's so hard. I can't stress it enough. I was getting a little frustrated. I was getting discouraged because I felt like I was not going to find what I need. I felt like I wasn't going to get any opportunity at all. But then I just really got to thinking. Like, I was like, okay, how do you turn around to include mental performance, but also looking at a different area of like the industry? So y'all, I had to really sit with myself for like 10 minutes and be like, okay, what do I want to do? What am I interested in? And so for me, I'm very interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I never realized it, or I never realized that it was under that umbrella. I always wanted to look at putting African Americans, putting minorities in places that they deserve to be in. And I also realized that I'm super interested in bringing resources to minorities that we don't have day to day. I realized I always advocate for us to be represented in places that don't have representation. And so when I was talking to one of the employers, I was telling her about like my research, and I was telling her like, I want to go into mental performance, I want to go into sports psychology. She was like, it sounds like you want to go into like mental performance, like performance psychology, and like DEI. And I was sitting here like, yes, actually. And that moment I realized like, okay, DEI, use that as your in or your foot in the door to get into so many different opportunities. First off, I want to go into professional sports. So any foot in the door for the NFL and the NBA, I'm here for it. Like what's kind of kept me stuck is like, I've only been looking like mental performance. Look at opportunities that teach you the skills that you need to go into mental performance. Going into DEI, I know I want to help minorities. I know I want to bring inclusion into these places where there's no representation. DEI is the perfect place to do that. And so when I started to realize like it's okay to look outside of what you're doing, if it's gonna teach you the skills that you need, if it's gonna put your foot in the door for something else. Yeah, I might not go into a mental performance internship this summer, but if I get into any type of internship with the NFL, the NBA, I can be connected to people that can get me up there. Why not do it? I never thought I could be in business operations because I knew what I wanted to do. And I was like, if they see sports psychology on my stuff, they're going to be like, next. Because that has nothing to do with what they're looking for. But as I talked to employers, one of the biggest things they told me was use your skills. That's the most important part. There's not always going to be the exact job you're looking for when you're building yourself up, and that is okay. I'll tell you, I had that big epiphany right in the middle of that. And the moment that I switched my elevator speech, and the moment I realized like, don't talk about the end goal, just talk about what you're passionate about. That opened so many conversations and so many different doors that I didn't think would open. I made so many connections with people that aren't sports psychologists, no, aren't mental performance consultants, but they are DEI, or they know somebody, or they work in the NFL that can get me in the door from business operations to football operations. It's better to have one foot in the door than to have no feet in the door. The next thing, be personable, y'all. Don't go up to nobody with your hands crossed like this or your face mugging. Like, go up with a smile, ask them how they're doing. Like, be personable. Like, they don't want to talk to nobody flat. They want to talk to somebody who is interesting. They've been talking to so many people, and if you're boring, they're just not going to remember you. But if you come with energy, if you come being polite, if you come being professional, they're going to remember you. It'll be like, oh, I remember who Kayla was. So when you're going up to these people, talk to them like regular people. Don't go up there thinking, oh my God, I'm talking to a business executive. Oh my God, I'm talking to a talent coordinator. Like, no. Go up to them like, I'm talking to another individual. Be outgoing. Be yourself. That's another thing, y'all. Don't change who you are for nobody. They want to see who you really are. They want to know who the real you is. Because if you're acting different, if you're holding back on who you are, they're going to be able to tell that. Like, don't go up there timid. Just be personable. Just be willing to talk to them and be kind. That's the most important thing. Like, they're going to remember a kind person. Another thing, have an elevator speech. Y'all, when I tell you, I said the same thing over and over. Give a quick little spiel and let them ask questions. Like, the elevator speech is so crucial. Like, you only have a couple seconds because there's a lot of people talking behind you and you don't want to hold everybody up. And so having that quick elevator speech to pinpoint the biggest things about you, like, they'll ask the questions they need and the conversation will flow. But if you go up there like stumbling on your words, like not knowing what you're talking about, like, they're gonna know that. So go up there confident in what you want to do, or just a little spiel so they can get a feel of what you're trying to do. And be honest with these people. Like, if you don't have experience in a field but you're interested in learning it, let them know that and use what you've done before. Pull the skills from other experiences to be like, okay, I might not have experience in this specific field, but I have the skills that'll help me be adequate and that will have me prepared to work in this position. And I'm also willing and open to learning something new. They'll be like, oh, like, you'll stand out to them because, like, you're open. And lastly, advocate for yourself. Like, y'all, if y'all have to brag on yourself, brag on yourself. Something that they said in the fair that kind of sat with me is that over brag. Like, this is the time for you to be a little, like, conceited. Like, it is okay because they don't know you. So it's like, say what you're good at. Say what you do. Say the important things about yourself. The person next to you probably not doing nearly as much as you're doing. and you're gonna stand out for it. There's a difference between arrogant and, you know, just being proud of yourself. You work hard for what you do. Say it, show it, tell them, because this is your moment. You only have a couple seconds and you may never see them again. Brag on yourself. It is okay. You don't work hard for nothing. Those are some of the things that I learned just being there, by talking to a lot of individuals, by hearing the different keynotes and panels. There's a lot of insight in people that you don't think you'll get insight from, because now, like, I have a whole different view of how I'm gonna go about getting opportunities and experiences. So what are some things that I enjoyed about the career fair? One of the biggest things that I appreciated and that I enjoyed was the variety of jobs and opportunities there. Not only did they have post-grad, they had summer opportunities, they had part-time, they had so many different opportunities for what you needed. They also had so many different ranges of areas and fields. When I was at PV, every career fair, and no shade, no hate, where are the sports related job fairs? Like, literally, I went to like maybe 2 career fairs at PV. I would be so frustrated with Prairie View because they always tended their career fairs towards a certain population. And so I really appreciated them having not only sports related things, but they had general things. For HBCU students, and specifically sports related students, I feel like it's hard for us to get opportunity if we don't go look for it. And, like, don't get me wrong, we're supposed to work for what we like get, that's cool, but like a job fair and having everything right there and seeing opportunities that I wouldn't see researching was very helpful. I also really enjoyed that they had like keynote speakers and like a panels, but being able to sit down and get advice like directly from people who are in the places we want to be was super cool. Hearing these different keynotes and panels during the career fair helped me prepare better for like the next booths that I was about to go to, and it like put different things in my mind that I could talk about and like skills I could use while I'm going and talking to the employees that are literally in the same room. I hope some of what I said can be things that you guys can use to develop yourselves professionally, and I hope this is the opportunity that y'all decide to take. If you go to HBCU, if you graduated from HBCU, that will push you further into the career that you want to be in. If y'all have any additional questions or concerns or comments, drop them below. I challenge y'all to look out there and see what type of opportunities are there for your professional development, whether it's a career fair, whether it's a conference. Go and see what's out there. I hope y'all have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.